Star Bowling with the top bowling stars of America. Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Tops Bowling from the Hoffman Lanes here at Hoffman Estates, Illinois. I'm Jack Buck, and each week it's my pleasure to introduce to you two of the top star bowlers from around the country as they compete for a portion of the $40,000 in prize money which is involved in this show. $1,000 to the winner each week, $500 to the loser, along with a very attractive LaSalle wristwatch for each of the competitors. Today it's a bit of a change of pace as we present to you a ladies' match with two of the finest professional lady bowlers in the country. I know the folks here at Hoffman Lanes are going to enjoy this three-game match, total pins count, and as they meet these people right now, I'm sure that you folks at home will also enjoy the program. Let's meet, first of all, the queen of the lady bowlers, the lady who has the records to prove that she is the greatest of all time. She's from Grand Rapids, Michigan, Marion Ladewig. Marion, good to see you.
Good to see you, Jack.
And we couldn't do a bowling series without having you on the program.
Thank you.
And you have a fresh little youngster to take care of today, huh?
Yes, we have a lot of youngsters these days.
Marion, you've been hitting these lanes rather well here in practice?
Yes, rather well.
Huh? Listen, it's about time we had a 700 again.
Sounds good.
From you and here on the series. So the best to you. And let's meet our opponent for today, one of the youngest of the professional lady bowlers. She is from Lansing, Illinois. We're talking about one of the co-holders of the BPAA doubles title, Joy Abel. Joy, good to see you.
Good to be here.
Where is Lansing, Illinois? You must be a neighbor to the Hoffman Estates people.
Well, no, it's the southeastern part of Chicago.
Oh,
about 25 miles from Chicago.
You had a long way to come for this victory, huh?
Well, we'll wait and see about that.
Okay, fine. Joy, a pleasure to have you on the show.
Nice being
The very best to you.
Thank
Joy
you.
Abel, Marion Ladewig. Good luck, Marion.
Thank you.
You all set for top star bowling? Once again, a three-game match, total pins count, and we're all set to go. Well, we've had the pleasure of watching the men during the last few weeks, and now the ladies hold forth, and Marion Ladewig leads off on lane number 29. And gets us started the way we thought she would. I might mention right here, as we mention every week, that this series is sanctioned by the ABC as well as the WIBC, the Women's Bowling Organization, and the lanes have been certified by the American Bowling Congress. Check from week to week to see that they're up to standards. Here's Joy Abel trying to match the strike thrown at her by Marion, and she carried. Joy was on that head pin, but she gets a strike. They each have a strike. $1,000 to the winner here, $500 to the loser, plus the LaSalle wristwatch for each. You know, there's a lot of style and class that has entered into the sport of bowling during the past few years. A lot of color has been introduced. No double there. Couldn't get to the head pin. 1, 2, 4, 8 is left. When I was talking about the color, I was thinking specifically of that Starfire bowling ball that Joy is employing today. Very attractive, and of course the ladies' uniforms and different colored shoes and all make it a very glamorous sport, even though there's a lot of hard work involved. Having had a strike in the first frame, Joy Abel trying to bring back the spare, trying to cover the 1, 2, 4, 8, had a little trouble at the foul line, but carried. Has plenty in the first frame with a spare up. Clap of the hands and a smile for her opponent, Marion Ladewig, who will come up looking for a double. With me and alongside is Jerome Whitey Harris, a member of the Brunswick advisory staff, a very fine professional bowler in his own right, and he'll be giving you his expert opinions, sidelights as we go along here. She threw right at the head pin, and that's where it ended up, and she knew she was going to get that right from the start, I'll bet you. 4-6. Offline all the way with that one, Whitey.
Pointed right at the bugle, Jack. I think she knew it, too, because she was leaning at the foul line trying to
get
break
it
it
to go
up.
over to the Brooklyn, huh?
Sure.
Well, let's see what she goes for right here. Going for the 6-pin, gets it, has 19 in the first frame, opens in the second frame with the split, has 28. Well, when you start to read off the things that this lady has done in bowling, she's been the BPAA All-Star Tournament winner 7 times, and she walked off with the honors 5 straight years. She was also a runner-up 1 time. Okay, Marion. Strike, split, strike. Marion Ladewig. Marion has won the World's Invitational, the WIBC All Events, the National Doubles with Laverne Carter, the WIBC Doubles. A thin hit leaves the 2-5 for Joy Abel. She was working on a spare. She's ahead in the match.
Actually, Jack, and Joy, what you're seeing is amongst the women bowlers, top bowlers, she actually gives that ball a lift more than any other woman bowler, which is unusual.
And as much as most of the men. You folks watching here. Look at that lift and that follow through. And the 2-5 goes down. She has terrific bowling form. Bowling is a fine conditioner for both men and women, for people of all ages. Let's see if Joy can get her second strike of the game here in the 4th frame. Well, she comes up with a baby split. She leaves the 3-10, so each has had a split so far. Joy will have a good chance at picking hers. Miss Joy Abel. You're born here in Chicago. We're here at the Hoffman Lanes and Hoffman Estates, just outside of Chicago, near the O'Hare Airport. She now lives in Lansing, Illinois, as she told you. Started bowling about 10 years ago. Going for the baby split. Oh, that ball stayed right on that 3. Didn't get the kick that she had thought. So she opens. An open for each. And now Marion Ladewig, with a strike working, has a chance to take the lead in this match. She gets that ball out nicely, but the ball tailed off. The ball skidded on her, Whitey. She didn't get much lift to that one as she looked for that double.
Yeah, Jack, it looks like Marion, as we've noted in some of the other matches on this right lane, even the men bowlers have had a problem with getting over that, and Marion hit that track.
Seems to have a lot of speed to hold the line and keep the ball from skidding.
Interesting to note, Marion gives her ball a look just before she throws, to see if it's seated in her hand properly.
Going for the spare, may not get it. Leaves the 4-pin. So Marion opens for the second time in the game, having had a split back in the 2nd frame. Here's a miss now. So she has 56 through the 4th frame. Both have opened in the 4th frame. And it's a 9-pin lead for Joy Abel at this point. Marion has hit this lane twice before. Oh, got away from that split as the 7-pin drops. She leaves the 6-10. This little change of pace as we present the fine lady bowlers for your pleasure. Last week, we saw Dick Hoover defeat Glenn Blakesley by only 10 pins in a thrilling match, 663 to 653. Next week, Dick Hoover will come back after the 2-week layoff and take on Bill Tucker, who is now residing in Los Angeles. 6-10 goes down. So Marion has had a strike, a split, a strike, a miss, and a spare. Joy Abel, open in the 4th frame, comes up in the 5th, leading in the match by 9 pins. 5-step approach, and you sort of figured she was a little too far outside. Both of the ladies seem to be having comparable problems on lane number 30, Whitey.
Well, Jack, that lane, as we've been noticing since we were watching the men bowlers, you have to play a tight inside lane, and I think that's a tough angle for a lady bowler.
On the spare. So a spare in the 5th for Joy Abel. Joy is 23 years old. How about that for a strike? She had a spare up, so as we look at it now, Marion Ladewig, 56 through the 4th, with a spare up. Joy Abel, 85 through the 5th, with a strike up. sir. That gal doesn't make the same mistake twice. Whitey, it's a bit unusual. With all the bowling she has done, and as good as she has never had the 300 sanctioned game. Her best game, 288 for Marion. Maybe on this show. Who knows when those 300s are going to come popping around. She's looking for a double. Almost had herself a Brooklyn. Instead leaves the baby split, her second split of the game. Marion's best series, 742. Joy Abel has a best ever of 719. Marion trying to fit that ball in between the two. Has a good angle and picks up that split, giving her 96 through the sixth with a spare. You'll recall back in the fourth frame, Joy Abel left the 310 and wasn't able to cover it, so that's her only open in the match. Marion Ladewig has two opens, a split and a miss. The difference is 9 pins right now as Joy Abel looks for a double here in the seventh frame and gets it. They're really in there. I'll tell you something you can observe and learn from Joy, and that is the way she remains at the foul line rather than just rushing up, firing, and falling back. You watch. Looking for 3 in a row. See how she stays down, gets it out, studies the ball. Leaves the 4-7, however. Failed to get the 3-bagger she was looking for, but she has a lead at the moment nonetheless. I'd like to talk to the mothers and daughters who might be viewing the match. Under the auspices of neighborhood groups or local PTA organizations, mothers and daughters are getting together for this wonderful sport of bowling. And within these ranks of the moms and the daughters, bowling has increased in popularity by leaps and bounds. If you want to organize a mother-daughter group, just get in touch with your local bowling proprietor. He'll give you all the help you need. And see what Marion does in the 8th frame, working on a spare. That 8 pin was late in toppling, but it went down for her, and Marion hits that lane for the second time in a row, gets her 4th strike, and needs a double to match the double that Joy fired at her back in the 6th and 7th. Joy has a 17-pin lead right at the moment. We'll have a chance to visit with these ladies as we go along during the session. Now the split. 4-6. That's the second one that she has had. She's had 3 splits. She picked one of them, the 310, you'll recall. But now she has had the 4-6, one of them on 29 and the other on 30. So there she was going for a double, and instead ends with the antithesis, the split. Gets the 4. What do you think of that word, Whitey?
Well, all I can say about it, Jack, again I have to repeat I don't know anything about it, but having attended St. Louis University and majored in, what did I major in?
Ticket scalping. Here we are on the 9th frame. Joy Abel working on a spare. She's ahead in the match. Did she get that one up there? Yeah, she did a lot of rooting there at the foul line, too. So that's her 4th strike. Marion Ladewig has likewise had 4 strikes. Joy has had the only double in the game. And Marion has opened 3 times, 2 splits and a miss. Joy with 1 open, they split back in the 4th frame. The best Marion can do is 174. Out the window, huh? Just didn't get to that head pin, leaves the 2-4-5, so she's not going to be out of sight when this is over, as far as Miss Ladewig is concerned. Needs to bring this back for 173 and then a 10 count for 193. Joy with that 5-step approach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yeah. Hey! She has a very pleasant smile, which she displayed for us with a good deal of generosity, as that 2-pin was very generous for her. There she is. Joy finishes with 193. Pretty good working ball that last time. That ball did an awful lot of work for her, Whitey.
Yes, as we said in the beginning, Jack, this girl throws one of the finest balls along that line. Normally, the lady bowlers will throw them down and in.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what Marion does here. She opened in the 9th frame. She needs 3 to get up to 174. Hey, she leaves a 5-pin, almost left the 4-5. She's already had 3 splits. She couldn't stand another right there. So now she has to get this 5-pin and a 10 count for 164. So it'll be thus it would be a 29-pin lead for Joy Abel. Marion going for the 5-pin. See, even then, in picking that 5-pin, Whitey, you could see that ball wasn't doing much for her on 30. The ball wasn't hooking very much for her, moving.
She throws directly at a pin more than hooking the ball at the pin.
I see. Needs this for 164, and she finishes with 162. 162 for Marion Ladewig. Joy Abel, 193. So the youngster has an upset in the making. We'll be able to talk to one of the ladies when we come back in just a moment. Here to talk to Joy Abel, who has the lead after the first game in our 3-game match. And Joy, one of the things that Whitey and I were talking about up there that I think would be interesting to the viewers has to do with your position at the foul line. You might tell the folks how you've worked at that and what you attempt to accomplish up there.
Well, positioning, make sure that my body is forward, my foot is straight to the foul line, and my arm is following through to my target.
I noticed that you stay there longer than most bowlers. Most people just let the ball go and turn around and leave. What are you studying when you're up there?
Check and see that I'm ending where I start.
Have you been?
Shifting. Yeah, so far.
You're trying to avoid the drift that way, is that right?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
You've been hitting them pretty well, and got a little upset in the making here. I suppose Marion would have to be considered the favorite in this match, huh?
Yes, possibly, yes. She would have to be.
Yeah. But you got something going for you, and it should be very interesting as we go along. Joy,
Right.
Nice to visit with you.
Thank
and good
you.
luck. And to you, Marion. You folks all set for the second game here? Top Star Bowling. Well, Joy didn't seem to think that Marion should be considered the favorite. And it's good to see an attitude like that. She figures that she's just as good as the next one and better than most. And she's doing her darndest right there to tell us that it's true. Did I say the wrong thing to her, Whitey?
I don't think so, Jack. If you notice, Joy seems to be very pixie. And you think this would be all right to say that this is Pixie and Dixie bowling?
No, don't say it.
Oh.
Marion Ladewig now in the first frame of the second game. Marion had only a 162 in her opener. 193 for Joy Abel. Strike for each. That's the way they started the first game, each with a strike. And in that first game, they each had 4 strikes. The one big difference was the double that Joy had. Marion had none. And Marion came up with 3 splits, one of which she was able to convert, and she also had a miss. Remember the 1-2-4 she didn't get back in that first game? Joy went through the first game with only one open, a 3-10 split in the 4th. Marion going for a double. And the 6-10 remains as she was over on the Brooklyn side. You know, I was talking a while ago about the mothers and the daughters and the fine opportunities they have now to start a league or get into some open play with the help of the proprietor. And even if they've never bowled before, that's still an easy situation. There's the spare for Marion. 20 in the first frame with a spare. Most bowling proprietors are ready with a Learn to Bowl program where they use films, sound films that are tailored for specific groups, youngsters, men, the women, the seniors. Ask your proprietor about this Learn to Bowl program. See the mothers and daughters have a little action. There's a Brooklyn for a double. Joy Abel with the double here. Marion Ladewig started with a strike and a spare.
That was the kind of double, Jack, you walk away from, because it was a very bad Brooklyn hit. She was very fortunate to carry the 9-pin.
Now, let's see if she gets back in the groove. Whoops! Hey! You know, a few folks, fortunate is a word. Both ladies are laughing about the situation. Fortunate is a word. I think lucky is going a little too far on describing a hit like that, Marty, because after all, if you do put that stuff on the ball and it causes the action down there, you have deserved it. You get just about what you earn in this game of bowling. Marion has that line going for her, so it's strike, spare, strike. Am I right with those comments?
That's correct, Jack. Actually, the hit there, because Joy's ball doesn't move as fast as a men's ball who would hit in there, and then you'd end up with a 4-6 split. And as a result, because she's shooting a slower speed, the pins mix more.
What do you think? And there it goes. Both are very pleasant ladies, and they're exchanging pleasantries there on the bowler's settee. Obviously enjoying this event on Top Star Bowling. Joy looking for 4 here at the start of the game. Is that another Brooklyn? Hey, 5-pin. Marion Ladewig was about to say that's enough of that, because Marion was down by 31 pins when this started, and Joy has had a couple of fortunate hits. Meanwhile, Marion has come to life with a double of her own, her first double in the match, and she'll be working on that when she bowls in the 5th frame. Joy is looking for the spare now in the 4th. She seems to combine a good deal of strength, Whitey, with some tremendous grace and coordination. This is a girl who works at bowling. She's not a lazy bowler at all. Whoops, she had trouble there. Did hit the head pin, however, and working on the spare, she got a pretty good pin count, leaving the 2-8. Had trouble at the foul line, sticking a bit. Joy started with a 193 game. Marion Ladewig 162. Hence the difference was 31 pins. And Joy is picking up ground here with a 3-bagger at the start of the game, but Marion Ladewig is in position to do something about that. Joy going for the 2-8. And gets it. She sort of grins out the side of her mouth to start that grin. And I wonder what, how heavy the ball is that these girls are using. There's Marion. She was looking for 3, but didn't get there and leaves the 1-2-4.
Well, I would say, Jack, most of the professional women bowlers do use some, say, 15.5 to a 16-pound ball.
They use the full-size ball?
Yes. It's the same old thing, Jack. This is their business. They have an opportunity to practice, and handling the ball, the more you handle the ball, the better it feels.
Let's see what Marion can do here. This is where she had a miss before on the 1-2-4 in the first game for one of her opens. But not this time. So Marion Ladewig has 87 through the 4th with a spare up, and Joy Abel has 97 through the 4th with a spare up. Total pins in a 3-game match for $1,000. 500 to the loser. The LaSalle watch for each. And Marion Ladewig leaves the 5-pin. Had the 5-7 staring at her for a while. Where did she leave that 5-pin before, Whitey? Well, that was back in the first game, huh? I was thinking of Joy, who left a 5-pin here in the 4th frame. Marion throwing right at that 5-pin. That's her 3rd spare of the match. She has 3 strikes, 3 spares. There's that strike. And I hope that you people are paying attention to the things that Joy talked about, particularly at the foul line. And right here in the 7th frame, she's looking for a double. Has 117 through the 5th. has increased her lead over Marion Ladewig. And looks for a double here in the 7th frame, and leaves the 10-pin with a pretty good hit.
Is there any difference, Jack, of the expression made by a man bowler when he gets a tap like that, or a lady bowler?
Depends what they say. What do you say?
You got me on that one.
Marion trying to get the 10-pin for the spare in the 7th frame, and barely did. So Marion Ladewig has 106 through the 5th with a spare up, and Joy Abel has 137 through the 6th working on a spare. Marion Ladewig is 46 pins down at this point in the match as she bowls in the 7th frame, working on a spare. And the ball stayed out. She gets a 6 count on that spare and drops a bit further behind Joy Abel. Hoffman Lanes, Hoffman Estates. Jack Buck and Whitey Harris here, hoping that you're enjoying the viewing. Marion throws right at it, drives through, gets the 8, gets a spare in the 7th frame. So Marion has had no opens. Neither girl has, in fact. And the difference in this particular game is the 3-bagger with which Joy Abel started. 8th frame. Then hit, 7 pins, 2, 4, 5. As Whitey pointed out to you earlier, Marion is starting outside and throwing right at that pocket. A couple of times the ball has failed to move for her. Going for the spare here in the 8th frame. Covers all 3 pins very nicely. Boy, we had an exciting match last week. Glenn Blakesley had it all the way. But Dick Hoover got hot. Hope you were watching. And defeated Glenn 663 to 653. Joy Abel working on a spare here in the 8th frame. And leaves the 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. She got half of them with the first pitch. Now shoot the half, as they say down the block around the corner. Next week, Dick Hoover comes back to take on Bill Tucker. Should be a good one. And right by the 5 pin. I thought you had that covered, Whitey, but...
Well, for the way Joy's ball rolls, Jack, it takes off a little bit more than I think in you're comparing it with Marion's. She definitely throws a distinct hook.
It whittles away at the lead that Joy was enjoying. Joy started with 193. On the nose, 3-6. .161 is what Joy has through the 8th frame. Joy shooting the 3-6. Oh, and that's her 2nd chop in a row. She had 161 through the 8th. Now 9, it's 170. And she's right there with her strike. She had been working on a spare.
This is a true sign of a champion, and Marion Ladewig has proven this time and again, Jack. If you let the door open for her, she's going to start running through there, and it just shows it here right now in this strike. Joy Abel is only ahead by a few pins right here. Let's see what Marion does with the strike. And there's a double. And a strike on her first ball here in the 10th.
Marion can get another one right here. If she can go all the way with 2 more strikes, she could end up with a 219. She's on the nose, but avoids a split. 610 is left. Marion has 183 through the 9th. And needs this for 203. 203 for Marion Ladewig. Marion started with a 162, comes back with a 203. And now Joy Abel, 170 through the 9th in her roll-off. And a strike. She'll go all the way for 200. She'd lose this game by only 3 pins, therefore.
Jack, I got this thing a little mixed up again.
On the scoring, on the count?
Yes. Seems as though I made the point on the 5 pin.
It was 207 then from Marion Ladewig, which puts her in even better shape. And there's an 8 count on her second ball for Joy Abel here in the roll-off. So Joy's best would appear to be 189. Marion Ladewig 207. So this one's going to be rather close when we get the 3rd game started, Whitey. Joy gets the 1 pin, considering it very important, of course, and Joy ends with 189. So Marion Ladewig 207 for 369. Joy Abel 189 for a total of 382, and only a 13-pin difference as we stand by for the 3rd game. Right here a message, then we'll be coming back. Ladewig has whittled away at the Joy Abel lead as we await the start of the 3rd game of our match. And Marion, the record book proves to us that you've been around this game of bowling for a couple of years. What are some of the big changes that you have seen in the game since you first started?
Well, there are many, many changes, Jack, and I think that the women are responsible for a lot of it.
They've shown the way in a good many points.
Yes. In other words, women have been good for bowling, but you know, bowling has been good for women too.
How so?
Well, it helps us to keep trim, it gives us the proper exercise, and it's fun to bowl in competition.
And the thing is, the ladies don't have to bowl 50 or 60 games a week like you probably do.
No, not at all.
And they make it easy for them with the nurseries, take care of the youngsters and so forth.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. In addition to staying quite busy with your bowling, I know that you've done some clothes designing, right?
Oh, yes, I have Gossard Sport Debs.
Should we mention them?
I think they're unmentionables.
They are unmentionables? Let's get ready for the 3rd and final game. Thank you very much, Marion. Let's get all set for the 3rd and final game here on Top Star Bowling. Okay, here's Big Mouth back here at the microphone.
Also, you have a different color.
Yeah. Did I blush? Marion Ladewig is starting us off on 29, trying to get closer in the match, and oops, the 4-7-9. We haven't seen that combination split too often over the weeks, Whitey.
No, I don't think so, Jack. And the way Marion will roll at that, she'll try to slide that 4 pin over to take out the 9. She'll be shooting a cross-lane shot.
How about the fact that she doesn't throw a hook ball? Is that going to hamper her in trying to pick this?
I think it's in her favor.
Oh, yes? Well, we'll see. Marion, who went through the 2nd game without an open, had 3 splits in the 1st game and starts this one with 1 match ball. I tell you, it's one thing when you're out kicking around on a Sunday morning and bowling just for the heck of it and fire at that split and convert it. It's yet another, Whitey, yet another when you've got $1,000 riding in the balance to place that ball properly and get your spare, which she did. Here's Joy. Looks good is good. What did you start to say, Whitey?
I thought that was an astute observation on my part in explaining how the ball went across the lane, and she did it that way. So I deserve some credit, too.
Okay. You give you 9 pins. Now Joy Abel looking for the double. She started the game 13 pins ahead of Marion Ladewig, and we're headed for some excitement right here, I'm quite sure. These gals competing for the same prize that the men compete for weekly. Got that one outside and couldn't do anything with it. Leaves the 1-2-8. The women's prize money has been mounting steadily, hasn't it, Whitey? But they still don't approach the prize money involved in the men's tournaments.
Well, I think in time it will, Jack. But again, through organization, they've been able to do this by having their Professional Women's Bowlers Association.
Joy Abel from Lansing, Illinois. She wasn't very certain of that one, was she? She came back wobbly-legged after that. Marion Ladewig, who had that difficult spare. Let's see what she does now. Comes back. Oh, this one has started strike spare for Miss Abel. Spare strike for Marion Ladewig. At the point, the difference remains 13 pins. Marion Ladewig can double right here. She can take care of 10 of those 13 pins. She rocked them both. Had the 4-7 wavering down there, but they wouldn't drop. The Hoffman Lanes here is a 32-lane establishment in Hoffman Estates. Community of happy families, it says on the billboard on the way over here. And it's all Brunswick equipment in this house, Brunswick Gold Crown equipment. Marion with a 4-7, giving her 40 through the second with a spare up. Joy Abel working on a spare. She comes up in the third frame. Whoop. 3-10. Well, let's see how good she is at covering these splits. You know, the last time over there, Whitey, she got a strike. And this time you knew that she was in trouble from the moment she let the ball go.
Yes, it definitely, with her big hook, Jack, and at the same time she pointed it towards the interesting to note she stands left of the approach to pick this 3-10.
She failed to do so in the first game. Well, we saw Marion Ladewig take care of the 4-7-9, and now Joy Abel with the baby split. They each have a spare in the third frame. Marion has picked up 2 pins in this particular game. She's 11 pins down, and I wonder how close it's going to be. Whoops. And a 7 count, leaving the 1-2-4. Now, a little trouble at the foul line. Maybe just my imagination. She seems to be rushing a little bit here as of late.
I think that was it, Jack. She really went up there fast, and as a result, like she told you in the interview, she watches where her left foot is. In this particular case, she was way over.
Let's see if she can bring back the spare. This will give Marion Ladewig a chance to cut even deeper into the lead that Joy has. She chops him down. Girl has a lot of expression. Here's Marion on 30. There she is. Well, gets even closer now. She was working on a spare. She has 60 through the third with a strike up. And you can see the importance of picking that split, Whitey.
Oh, yes, that definitely held Joy in there, because now the gap is down to where it's practically even if Marion could strike here.
Marion going for the double now in the fifth. No double, but no split, as Marion leaves the 6 pin. Marion has picked up 5 pins here. She's down by 8. that ball out nicely. Covers the 6 pin. And we're heading down the home stretch in this match now. It's 20, 40, 60, 80 through the fourth for Marion with a spare up. Joe Abel has had but 1 strike in this game after having had 4 in the first game and then 5. Tries to get on one right here. And that working ball. 5-7 with the last 2 to drop. That's her second strike of this game. She was working on a spare, and so Marion Ladewig has 80 through the fourth with a spare up. Joy Abel has 75 through the fourth with a strike up. Here's Joy looking for a double. Whoop, boy. That would have really hurt Marion Ladewig, who has a spare going for her.
It's getting pretty tight.
I should say. A 4-pin. 95 through the fifth for Joy with a spare up. A lot of industries are getting interested in bowling. A lot of retired employees have become involved. Uh-oh, Marion, where are you? Their mistake was such a big mistake that it was a good one. So it's 100 through the fifth with a strike up. Marion's third strike of the game. She's had them all on lane 30. Let's see if she can get her first one on 29 and get the double. The difference is only 8 pins. The double would suddenly put Marion out in front in this match for the first time. Back swing, follow through, on the hit pin, and it stayed up. A 6, 7, 10. We're here in Top Star Bowling from the Hoffman Lanes. I'm getting late in our match for $1,000 for the winner, $500 to the loser, a LaSalle wristwatch for each. We have a very attractive ladies' watch for Marion and Joy when this is over. I should pick one split. This is a little more difficult. It is possible, however. Didn't quite do it. Now, just as Whitey on that 4-7-9, the straight ball that she throws helped her. The absence of a hook ball probably hurt her with that one. Joy Abel working on a spare. She's in her 7th frame and gets the strike. I think she wants to win this thing. And right now it looks like she's going to, because Marion has opened for the first time. If Joy can put a couple together right here, she could have as much as 145 through the 7th, and she started this game with a 13-pin lead. Her actual lead now is 9 pins. Joy in the 8th. Oh, 4-pin. Well, Marion Ladewig could hardly have afforded that one. So she's still in the match. However, down by 20 pins. This thing might go right to the 10th frame here. There's the 4. Well, Marion's on the lane that she has been hitting.
This could be that interesting choice of lanes, Jack, with Marion shooting her 8th and 9th, and then Joy striking it out, and then see what the champion can do.
She's been hitting this one, but not this time. She leaves a 4-7. She had opened in the 7th with a split, the only open of this particular game, by the way. We started this game 382 to 369. Joy Abel ahead by 13 pins. Marion here was the first bowler elected to the Michigan Athletic Hall of Fame. Another of the many honors she has gathered. 2 spares in the 8th and moves over to 29. The lane that has bothered her here in this game. She's been able to spare on there, that's all. Ninth frame for Marion Ladewig, trying to light that Brunswick crown up there, but fails to do so as she fails to get the strike. So it's 146 through the 8th for Marion. She has to bring this back for the spare. Could go on to a 196 game. This one still to be hotly contested over the remaining frames. Another spare for Marion in the ninth. Now Jo Abel is up there to finish her game. As we continue on Top Star Bowling, is Jo Abel leaving the 10 pin. The way things are going right now, if she just continues to mark, why, she'll be all right. She has 154 through the 8th, has picked up an additional 8 pins, leads by 21. However, Marion could throw a few strikes at her in the roll-off. Joey going for her spare in the 9th. And gets it. Now the 10th frame.
184 would be the magic number for Joy, Jack. If she can get to that, then she would win the match by 1 pin.
So she needs the mark. She needs the mark to close it out. There it is. There's the strike. Giving her 174. 184 guaranteed. The rest will be window dressing. Is that another one? Yeah. So Joy is bowled quite well here. 193, 189. She's coming back with 2-0-something here. Joy Abel finishes with 2-0-1. 2-0-1 for Joy Abel. And 583. Marion Ladewig's in the 10th frame, working on a spare. And there she is. She's hit that lane. She's hit that 30. In fact, all 4 of her strikes. No doubles in the game. There's a 9 count for Marion. And she has to pick this up for 186. If she does so, her total will be 3 5s. Be a 28-pin difference. So you can see how that split hurt. And Marion ends with 186. Shakes hands with the winner. You could read her lips from up here. She said, "Nice shooting, boy." And so it was Marion Ladewig 555 for 500, which we'll be awarding very shortly. Joy Abel 583, the winner for the $1,000. This message, and back to present the prizes to the ladies. A lot of fun on Top Star Bowling this week because of the presence of these very lovely ladies. You folks enjoy the bowling that they gave to you? I know you did. Marion Ladewig, this very attractive LaSalle watch for you. Nice to have had you with us. It's always a pleasure to meet the greatest of them all and watch her bowl.
Thank you very much.
And for you, Joy, congratulations.
Thank you.
You took care of a very, very fine bowler today.
She is the greatest.
There is your watch. Here's your check for this one for 500. Marion Ladewig.
Thank you.
And $1,000 to our winner.
Thank
Joy,
you.
I guess that the one big one, the baby split that you picked, plus the split that she couldn't cover, made the difference in that last game.
That would make the difference, yes. I would say so.
Of course, you got a pretty good lead at the outset, and you wouldn't let her off the hook, would you?
Wouldn't give up. No.
Nice going, Joy.
Thank you.
Marion, once again, a pleasure. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Jack.
Marion Ladewig, Joy Abel. We're going to go back to the men next week, and it's going to be Dick Hoover against Bill Tucker. Dick Hoover having had a couple of weeks off from the show and should be fresh and ready to fire some good bowling at his opponent, and Bill Tucker would like to stay around. So please tune in next week for more Top Star Bowling from the Hoffman Lanes here in Hoffman Estates, Illinois. Now, Jack Buck says thanks for your time this time. Till next time, so long. LaSalle, the Precision Jeweled Watch. Bowling equipment by Brunswick, the #1 name in bowling. Top Star Bowling is sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress.